What's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis once again, giving you the information you asked me for. Sometimes I'm giving you the information you didn't ask me for. And something prompted what we call story time with Chazz. That's when I tell you a story about my life that may help you understand things that are going on in your life. I did a video called "Are You Blessed and Highly Favored?" I'm probably going to do like a little thing where you can push the video, push or whatever, and get the video and watch it. Click on it with the mouse, whatever the hell. Okay, I'm going to probably do something like that. But anyway, if that doesn't happen, look up "Are You Blessed and Highly Favored?" Anyway, I did this video, and somebody put a comment on there that kind of made me think. The comment basically was, some people are chosen to just get a bad life, and we're not all given the same gifts and abilities and yada, 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 and we're not all getting the same opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that actually made me think of a person that I knew, and it made me think of a situation that happened when I was just going into high school. Okay, we were in middle school, right? And in our last year in middle school, we had there was this thing where they zoned us for some of the people who went to my middle school had to go to another high school, and some of us went to a really good high school. Some of us went to, I don't want to call it a crappy high school, but it was a crappy high school. Okay, I mean, it was crappy in terms of this: the ceiling was leaking, it ain't had no books. The heat didn't work half the time. I mean, just you name. They had like 2 computers in the whole school, man. I mean, it was just terrible. It was like one of the worst high schools around. I'm not even gonna say the name of it, but it was a terrible high school, right? And it was just the way things were split up. Some of us went to the real good high school. Some of us, I mean, of course, it wasn't no accident that it was split up that way. It was split up along economic lines, of course. So anyway, like 5 of my friends ended up going to the messed up high school, right? in the impoverished area. And they lived, like right on the line where they lived like in the poorer communities. Slightly, they lived in the poorer community or whatever. And one of our friends who lived the closest, I mean, he probably was like 100 meters away from where they drew the line. Like, he was like right there. He could have easily went to our school, and he was pissed, right? So, they go to the school, and freshman year, he was like, you know what? This school sucks, right? My friend goes, this school sucks. This is like one of the worst schools I've ever seen in my life. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a letter to the governor about how bad this school is and tell him to give us some money so we can do better. And he said, he convinced the other 5 of them. He was like, hey, let's write letters. I personally said, you think they don't know how this school is messed up? Y'all wasting y'all damn time. They're not going to give you no money for that school. Y'all going to be living in the same broke school y'all been in, and it ain't going to change. And a lot of them agreed with me, but he convinced them to write the letters. It was easy for me to say I was going to the good school. You know what I mean? I no skin off my nose. I wanted them to have a better school, but, I wasn't optimistic about it. Anyway, so they got together and wrote a letter. But he wrote one by himself, and I think he thought they were going to all write their own letters. They all got together and wrote a letter, and he wrote one by himself. So he wrote a letter, they wrote a letter. The governor didn't get back to none of them. Just like I thought. And that's exactly what I told him. Told your ass. He said, that's okay. We're going to keep writing letters. They said, no the hell we ain't. We wrote one letter. We wasted our time. Thanks a lot. Got our hopes up for no reason. We ain't doing it again. Deuces. They gave him the middle finger, index finger, and it was over. Okay? They ain't write another letter. But he did. Not only did he write a letter to the governor, he wrote a letter to the governor, he wrote a letter to the mayor, he wrote letters to all these business people. I mean, he just wrote letters. He wrote probably 40 people. And some of them got back to him, some of them didn't. But he didn't stop, kept writing them letters. Wrote letters all of his freshman year to everybody. And I'm sitting there saying, telling him, I'm like, dude, they're not sending you no money. What are you doing? You're an idiot. You're wasting your time. You could be doing some other stuff. He said, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep trying, and I'm going to keep writing these letters to these people because I'm making contact with them and letting them know about my situation. So he was telling them what kind of a student he was in his letters. He was telling them, you know, what the school was like and what he was having to overcome at home with his financial difficulties because, honestly, he was poorer than just about anybody. Because he lived like 100 meters away from the school, but he lived in like the roughest little area. 100 meters away from the zoning area where he could have been in other. But the reason why they did it that way is so people who lived in that area couldn't come to the nicer school. I'm just keeping it real. That's what it was. Not a conspiracy theory. That's the way it was. Okay, so anyway, he wrote about his situation. He wrote about what he was doing in school. And he kept writing these people. He wrote them all freshman year. Then he started writing them again sophomore year. But now these people was like returning his letters and corresponding with him. The businessmen were corresponding with him. The governor wrote him a couple times. The mayor wrote him a couple times. He was writing the police chief. I was like, what the hell is he going to do? But he was writing them anyway. He was writing the fire chief. Everybody. He was just writing all these people. I mean, just every person that he could think of. Just anybody. Anyway, he's writing these people, and they start writing them back. And by the time he gets to be a junior, some of these people start doing stuff for him. They wasn't really doing nothing for the school, but they was doing stuff for him. Like, they was like, I remember they gave him some tickets to a football game. And then, you know, I went with him. They gave him a few tickets to a football game. They gave him tickets to basketball games and just stuff like that. You know, little stuff. Nothing major, but they did little nice stuff for him. And I was like, man, that's kind of cool, but they ain't helping you and they ain't helping the school, really. I mean, what's a football game ticket? You know what I mean? But anyway, senior year came around, right? And he had been going to this messed up school, but he did very well. My man got good grades, you know what I mean? He was doing real good in that school. And when senior year came around, they started writing him more letters. It was people who didn't even write him the whole time that were starting to write him more letters. And more and more and more letters. And now they were sending them letters saying, hey, we want to help you. Because they had become invested in this dude's situation. Now, at the time, I didn't really understand that. I'm going to keep it real with you. But these cats got together and was like, you know what? We want to pay for you to go to any school you want to go to. I was like, he told me that. I was like, what the? They going to pay for you to go to school? He's like, yeah. They paid for him to go to school. They bought this dude a cell phone. They bought him a car. Like, I don't know if they leased it to him for the whole school time because when he got out, he got a good job and got his own car. But either way, he didn't pay for that car while he was in school. That's all that matters. He didn't have to pay for the phone. He didn't have to. I mean, they just started doing all kind of stuff for this dude. I mean, he had work study jobs, all kind of, like, they were like, anywhere you want to work study. And when he went to school, with the school he chose, the governor and all these business dudes wrote this dude recommendations for the school. So it was like he was automatically going to get in. Like, who's going to say no to this man? Some of these dudes was like the biggest businessmen in the whole state. And they was definitely in a situation where they was giving money to school. You know how that works. They giving money to school, so what is mug going to say? If you say, I want dude to be in this school, what they going to say? No. You just gave us $2-3 million? No. But what if you stop giving it? You know what I'm saying? So he's automatically in. So anyway, he automatically gets into these schools and stuff like that. The school that he picked a really good school. He could have got in anyway because he was. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on the dude. He could have got in anyway. He was getting good grades, but it made it a lot easier. I ain't gonna lie. So anyway, he gets into school, and when he gets to school, he still keeps writing these people, letting them know how he's doing, letting them know his progress, letting them know, you know, saying thank you to everybody. And they, along the way, they give a couple dollars to the school that he went to. They ain't really help a lot, but they helped a little. But anyway, while he's in school, they keep helping him. And they keep talking to him and stuff like that. So he gets out of school My dude, yo, he went automatically into a job at one of the best companies around. Automatically. As soon as he got out of school, like, he could have went pretty much anywhere. He was getting other people jobs. I mean, he was in a situation when he was coming right out of college, he could get other people jobs. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, let me call my homeboy. And he's like, oh, let me call this dude. I mean, it'd be like the big people, you know what I mean, that you see on television and shit like that. Like, he knew them. And he could call them people. It wasn't fake, like, you know, some people pretending like they know people. He could really call them and get people jobs and stuff. So anyway, he gets out, he gets a good job automatically. So, and we was like this. Like, it was crazy because we was like, man, dude is so lucky. Man, he know everybody. He's the luckiest person in the world. He's so lucky, man. He got, you know. Now, this is me. I got to go to the better school. Didn't make hardly anything out of my opportunity. You know, just barely got into college. I ain't do jack. And I'm sitting over here like, man, he's lucky, man. I wish if I would have got into that school, if I'd ended up in that school, I would have been in a better situation. Which is bull crap. That's what I was saying at the time. But that's bull crap. I wouldn't have done what he did. I just wouldn't have. So anyway, he gets a business, right? And these people help him get loans and stuff. Like they helped him get loans, helped him get the business. He knew people that was giving him all of the, you know, the right stuff to do, like, you know, where to go buy stuff from, how to go get licensed for different stuff, like doing it the right way. Because there's people who's giving him advice, like multi-million-dollar advice. You know what I mean? Like shit you couldn't even go to school and learn. They was helping him. So anyway, he got this business, and my man got a business, built it up, and it burned down. I mean, he took a straight up L. Like, he built this business up and it burned to the ground. He ended up getting the money from it. Anyway, he ended up flipping this into where he got 2 successful businesses that are now like 4 and going and about to be 5. And along the way, every time a tragedy would happen to this dude, and we'd be like, oh man, that sucks, he would flip it. And he would turn it into something incredible. Like, it would be better than your wildest dreams. Like, dude he just keeps winning. Every time a loss comes his way, he wins. And I say that to say this, man. I told that story for this reason. Because it took me a long time in my life to understand why dude keeps winning. I didn't get it right away. And I wasn't that type of person. I learned a lot from him. Not that he told me to do this or told me to do that. Just watching him, I learned a lot from him about how to take tragedies and turn them into your triumphs. How to not just go around your tragedies, but to actually use the tragedy and make that what you triumph from. Make that how you get your win. Don't let things set you back. Make what could be a setback, turn that into what propels you forward. You know, I used to think dude was lucky. I used to think like, man, he just get all the breaks. But he just takes whatever happens in his life and turns it into a good break for himself. And that's the difference between people who win and people who lose. That's the difference between somebody who, every time something bad happens to you in your life, you sit there and pout and cry instead of making a good opportunity out of it. Every time something goes on in your life, it's like, oh, woe is me, my life sucks. And you just can't wait to sit there and cry and give yourself an excuse to lose. This man doesn't make excuses to lose. He makes reasons why he should be winning. A lot of other people who went to that school didn't graduate, are on drugs, some of them died, and it just lost all around. And heck, people who went to the school I went to, a lot of them didn't win. You know, they doing terrible too. Didn't even graduate. It happens because your situation is what you make of it. It's what you make of where you're sitting. You could be sitting in the best place. You could be sitting in what everybody would consider the worst place. But that's up to you to win or lose off of where you're at. You know, and one thing he learned from his environment, I believe this, because of the way he grew up and not having anything, he learned not to see things like the rest of us did. Everybody else saw things like, okay, here's a win, here's a loss. He looked at it like it was all a win. I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna accept that, and that's why he keep winning. You know, and that's why nothing really seems to tear the dude down. I give him a shout out. He taught me a lot. You know, and once I started adopting that, things started becoming easier. You know, take advantage of every single situation because it can all work for your good. If it doesn't, that's really up to you. You know, nobody's handing you a bad life. You know, you're just not doing anything with what's being handed to you. You know, you got the building blocks, but it's up to you. Some people got it to where it's easy to figure out that they got to win. Some people got it to where, you know, you got to look for the win a little bit. And some people can find a win in anything. Some people can find a loss in anything. And some people win $15 million in the lottery and find some way for that to ruin their life. Be on the news stories and all that kind of crap. Some people's house burns down and they find some way for that to be the best thing that ever happened to them. So, you're always blessed because you're still here. So, you can do anything you want to. But you have to make the best opportunities, and you have to make the best effort to take advantage of every single situation. There are no bad situations. Take advantage of everything and make it good. That's story time with Chazz Ellis. Hopefully I was able to help you out. Make sure you support AskChazzEllis on Indiegogo. Don't just talk about supporting it. Actually do it. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with somebody you know needs it. Once again, it's your man Chazz Ellis. Look me up on AskChazzEllis on Facebook. Also look me up on the ChazzEllisProject.com. Peace.